The objective of this lesson is to subtract fractions with related denominators by creating equivalent fractions with common denominators. In previous lessons, students have learned that when adding and subtracting fractions, equal-sized pieces must be considered. Finding a common denominator is an efficient strategy for ensuring that both numbers have equal-sized pieces. In today's lesson, students will work with fractions with unlike denominators that are related. Let's start with our first problem. There is 9/10 of a kilometer between my house and my friend's house. I have walked 2/5 of a kilometer. How much further do I need to walk to get to my friend's house? The equation to represent this problem situation is 9/10 kilometers to walk, subtract the 2/5 kilometer already traveled, equals the distance left to go. Draw a number line from 0 to 1. The problem states we have a total of 9/10 of a kilometer to walk. Divide the number line into tenths and shade over to the 9/10 mark. The problem says to subtract the 2/5 kilometers already walked. In order to do this, a common denominator must be found. The denominators 5 and 10 are related. 5 times 2 equals 10. This means the 2/5 can be written into tenths by multiplying the numerator and denominator by 2. 2/5 is equivalent to 4/10. The equivalent equation now reads 9/10 minus 4/10 equals d. On the number line, start at the 9/10 and take away or move back 4/10. The fraction left to travel is 5/10 kilometer, or 1/2 kilometer. Let's solve another problem. Damien will run 5/6 of a mile in a relay race. If he has already run 1/2 a mile, how much further does he have to run to finish his portion of the race? The equation to solve this problem would be 5/6 mile that Damien has to run in total, subtract the 1/2 mile he has already ran, equals the distance left. Let's use Cuisenaire rods to model. The dark green rod will be used to represent one whole because it can be partitioned into 6 white pieces. The problem states that Damien has a total of 5/6 of a mile to run. Place 5 white rods below the dark green rod to model the 5/6. We need to subtract the 1/2 mile he ran. 1/2 will be represented using a light green rod because it takes 2 light green rods to equal 1 dark green rod. It is clear to see that 3 of the white rods, or 3 of the 1/6 rods, is equivalent to the light green rod. Change the light green rod into 3 white rods. Numerically, this changes the 1/2 fraction to 3/6. The equation now reads 5/6 subtract 3/6 equals d. The distance Damien has left to run is 2/6 of a mile. Another way to solve this problem numerically would be to find a common denominator. The denominators 6 and 2 are related. 6 is 3 times more than 2, or 2 times 3 equals 6. The numerator and denominator in the fraction 1/2 can both be multiplied by 3 to generate an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 6. The equivalent fraction is 3/6. The equivalent equation is 5/6 subtract 3/6 equals d. d equals 2/6 miles left to go. The objective for this lesson was to subtract fractions with related denominators by creating equivalent fractions with common denominators. We met this objective by creating equivalent fractions visually with number lines and Cuisenaire rods. We also created equivalent fractions numerically by multiplying the numerator and denominator with another number to create common denominators.